Welcome to The Rite of Passage with Vanessa Riley, the podcast where storytelling meets passion and every page turns into a new adventure. I'm your host, Vanessa Riley, and together we'll dive deep into untold histories, reflect on current events through a historical lens, share behind-the-scenes writing insights, and explore the ups and downs of the author's journey. From rich historical novels to unforgettable characters to pop culture's intrusion on the written word, hey, we're going to explore it all. So grab your pen, your notebook, and let's begin our journey through the written word. Let's start your rite of passage. Grab some gumbo, your best girl, and go. Hey, fearless listeners. We've made it to another week. That's an accomplishment. It isn't something I take lightly. Times feel perilous. Worries are rampant. I've had more conversations where I've been talked off the ledge, or where I've held up safety nets for others. But let's congratulate ourselves. We've made it through the fire. California has literally done that, with most of the wildfires now 100% contained. Let me repeat this. We will get through hard times. My faith is strong. My friendships are firm. I believe in doing life with us, helping each other along the way. As your historically inclined friend, I thought deeply about writers and writing friendships this week. As a writer, I love studying other writers. I look for habits to incorporate or styles to dissect and admire. There is so much that can be learned from reading and studying the craft of others. While there's nothing new under the sun, some writers have found ways to capture its light and change the world by focusing its heat and power back onto the earth, our neighborhoods, communities, countries, even for just a mere moment. I draw a lot on images. In my own writing, I want you to feel like you're in the room where it happens. In Sister Mother Warrior, I make you the warrior, Grand Toya, sitting at the table where the boy she raised, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, converses with the commander of the armed forces, Toussaint Louverture. They speak about strategies to prosecute the war, and I spend time on the tastes of the sounds, the food on the table, from broth and its caramelized bits to the roasted pheasants with mushrooms. If this scene were painted or dared to be shown on screen, you should catch the meticulous details and comforts of where they're sitting, the posturing, even the fumbling of fingers along buttons of a waistcoat that has crowns or birds or women painted on them. Images tell us so much. They are a testament to what has been and what could be. Remembering photos of writer friendships like Ralph Ellison, the Invisible Man, and Albert Murray, the Omni-Americans, and noting the dapper and different styles of dress. Or photos of James Baldwin and Langston Hughes taken in jazz or supporting a civil rights march. All are precious memories. So for this essay, I went down the rabbit hole searching for images of female writer friendships. I started with the Bronte sisters, Charlotte, Emily, and Anne. These literary powerhouses from Yorkshire, England, originally published under male pseudonyms. But their female forward works, Charlotte's Jane Eyre, Emily's Wuthering Heights, and Anne's The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, became classics of English literature. I found myself looking at a painting of the sisters created in 1843 by their brother Branwell Bronte. He originally painted himself into the portrait, but seeing the sunshine, their luminous faces, he painted his own image out, leaving behind a ghostly outline. Can you imagine Branwell's humility and protective nature of his sisters and their genius? The portrait now hangs in the National Portrait Gallery in London for all to see. From there, I dove into Sylvia Plath and Anne Sexton. The two revolutionized confessional poetry, tackling themes of mental illness, feminism, and personal suffering. They often attended poetry workshops and lectures together, but I couldn't find any pictures of them side by side. They may exist, but what if they don't? What does that mean to have a friendship so secretive and private? To not celebrate the unity publicly? What does that say? In contrast, I did find images of Anne Sexton and the poet Maxine Kumin. After meeting Sylvia Plath for drinks, Anne still craved company, so she joined a local writers group. This is where she first heard Maxine Kumin, a quiet but powerful voice, sharing a work in progress. They couldn't have been more different, Maxine prim and frumpy, Anne wild and bold. But together they were yin and yang. They edited each other's work, co-wrote poems, and built a bond so deep that it became a true creative partnership. You know how rare it is to fully trust another writer with your words. That's the kind of magic these two had. One of my favorite modern writing friendships is the trio Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willig, and Karen White. Their collaboration has produced several books, including The Lost Summer of Newport, one of my favorites. They're often seen together at book events, wearing pearls, sipping signature cocktails, and laughing with the kind of joy that only comes from shared secrets, success, and sisterly love. Another legendary sisterhood is Toni Morrison and Maya Angelou. These two are iconic, two of the most important voices of the 20th century. I've seen photos of them young and free, standing tall in their brilliance. I've seen pictures of them in their later years, side by side in wheelchairs, dressed to the nines, radiating wisdom and grace. Their friendship was built on admiration, public support, and a deep mutual respect. These images are so encouraging. As writers, we often work in solitude, wrestling with words and deadlines. But community matters. These friendships remind me of that. They matter. There's one more image I found in 2023. It appeared in the LA Times article touting a new book, The Sisterhood. The photo, which serves as the book's cover, captures 8 young, beautiful Black women gathered together, smiling for the camera. Let me set the scene. The hostess, let's call her June, was waiting for her collection of poems to be published in 2 months. Every author knows that feeling, the anxiety of waiting for pub day, the stomach-churning dread of the book's reception, the early reviews. I can imagine June wanting her girls around her for support. She calls her writer friend Alice. Alice is a girl's girl. She's written a big expose for Ms. Magazine and is so close to locating a literary treasure she can taste it. Tasting reminds her of spices. She picks up the rotary dial phone and calls the best cook she knows, Verda May. Verda May is a Brooklyn celebrity and a cultural anthropologist. But she brings a pot of gumbo with large shrimp, smoked sausage, and proper Geechee rice, like nobody knows. More calls are made, and these writers and activists come to June's apartment. One friend, think Toni, who had a couple of books published and a little money in her pockets of her fine leather jacket, brings the best champagne she could afford. Maybe 1 bottle of expensive Veuve Clicquot Brut with the yellow label to toast something real special. And then she purchases a few bottles of Moet and Chandon, or maybe something sparkling and American like Andres or California Corbel. Are you getting the picture? Glasses in hand, toasting each other. A 12-inch long play album sings in the background Stevie Wonder's I Wish. a Rolls-Royce car wash. If June's love for Bessie Smith wins out, she will make sure the Empress of Blues, downhearted blues, is playing. After the dishes are cleared, I can imagine them reciting poems like Anne and Maxine. They might work on plot points or tweak a line or two, passing amongst themselves like Beatrice and Lauren and Karen. And just as they ready to leave and tug on their jackets to brave the February cold, someone suggests a picture. These ladies group together in the living room under June's hanging picture of singer Bessie Smith. Click! Someone catches the moment. Much like Branwell Bronte, someone has gotten out of the way to commemorate this moment where the sun shined through and touched legends. Let me formally introduce you to these women. June Jordan, a trailblazing poet, essayist, and activist whose work championed social justice, Black empowerment, and the experiences of marginalized communities. In the picture, she was 2 months away from publishing Things That I Do in the Dark, a poetry collection reflecting on race, gender, and personal identity. Alice Walker, a Pulitzer Prize-winning author and activist best known for her novel The Color Purple and the tireless efforts in preserving Zora Neale Hurston's legacy. Alice was an established writer, having published Meridian, a novel exploring the civil rights movement. Vertime Smart-Grosvenor, a culinary anthropologist, writer, and Gullah culture advocate, is known for her work blending storytelling with food traditions, including her groundbreaking book, Vibration Cooking, or the travel notes of a Geechee girl. Toni Morrison, a Nobel Prize-winning author and editor for Random House, celebrated for her powerful novels like Beloved that illuminated the complexities of Black life, memory, and history, stands all cool in her leather jacket. At the time of this gathering, Toni had already gained literary acclaim with The Bluest Eye, Sula, and she's months away from publishing Song of Solomon, which would earn her the National Book Critics Circle Award. Nana Maynard, a newbie who would go on to become a scholar and cultural advocate for highlighting the contributions of Black artists and writers, is there in the front row. Tozaka Shange, a poet, playwright, and novelist renowned for her choreo poem for colored girls who have considered suicide, When the Rainbow is Enough, which helped redefine the portrayal of Black womanhood in art. She was a household name in the 70s and an advanced Black feminist theater. Audrine Ballard, a gifted writer and thinker who worked for activism and celebrated Black culture, she became an active voice in literary feminist communities. Laurie Sharp was at the beginning of her career, but she went on to become an accomplished poet and writer whose works explore themes of identity, community, and Black womanhood. This photo, it means the world to me. Legends standing on business, celebrating and communing together. It shouts several things at once. Number one, because writing can be an isolated place, seek out friends. Number two, enjoy the best, whatever that may be, when you gather. Eat gumbo, drink the wine. Number three, differences in levels of talent, stages, and statures in careers shouldn't keep anyone from getting a bowl. Number four, toast everyone and every accomplishment with good champagne. Number five, record the moment. We need good memories. When I go places, I'm often that one friend taking 100 pictures. I try to be quick, and I've learned to snap photos in live mode. It's the best way to adjust things to make sure everyone looks their best, eyes are open, expressions just right, etc. And sometimes static shots can be turned into video so I can relive the moment. It helps to feel not so isolated. Lastly, It never hurts to be Branwell or that unknown one who snaps the picture. Today, more than ever, someone will catch you and your moment. So don't worry about hogging the light. So, dear listeners, writers in the house, do something for me. Get with your friends, those soldiering in the same fields, and include a few who are doing something different. Celebrate life. Stay hopeful about the things you're expecting. You deserve delicious gumbo, champagne, and your best girls pouring life into you, just as you do for them. More information about sisterhoods and writing friendships can be found in show notes, along with the reading list. Hey, thank you for listening. Hopefully you'll come again. This is Vanessa Riley.